He as in 2000 here, and right now we're gonna be reacting to "Stung by a Cicada Killer" by Brave Wilderness. I watched his previous videos of him catching bugs and holding it to his arm and stinging whatever to feel. I don't know, but we're gonna be watching this video, and I can't wait to watch it. Cicada Killer. I know cicadas only come out once every few years. Don't know how long, but whoa. I'm gonna be watching this, so here we go. Bam.
I know you're shaking your heads right now saying, Coyote, wait a minute. Are you coming out of Sting retirement?
I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to be stung by the Cicada Killer. Oh my goodness, that stinger is long. Here we go.
Professionally trained and receive assistance from animal inspector. Oh.
During the winter of 2020, the national media erupted with a deafening buzz that venomously stung an unwarranted fear into homes across America. That buzz came from none other than the giant hornet. Hailing as one of the most painfully
Oh gosh. Well, I heard about this coming over to. I've heard the same one came over, I guess, from a ship or something, and I think it was in Washington, may still be, and I was like freaking out because it was like a couple inches long, and I'm afraid of bugs. Every bug, I'm afraid of it. I do not want to get near it. If I get near it, I immediately think I'm gonna die, because the bug will sting me or whatever if I get close to it. And so, even if I get stung by a bee, I'm just like, I'm gonna die now. Actually, I think bees. I think it depends on the bee. I think if a bumblebee stings you, it ends up dying. Don't know what the science behind that is, but I have no idea. The venom of what is it called? Is it a bumblebee or a honeybee? I don't think a honeybee is that vicious. I think it's a bumblebee. I've been stung by a bumblebee before. It's pretty, like, some of the stuff that he gets stung by is a lot less painful than a bumblebee sting. But when I get stung by a bumblebee, it just feels so painful. So I can't even imagine what he feels when he gets stung by, like the cicada killer and the tarantula hawk and those things. Like, they're a lot more painful than a bumblebee sting. It's just like, if I get stung by a bumblebee, it's excruciating. I'm just like, and then it's just, I cannot imagine the pain he feels. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But we'll go back
toxic
into
stings
this.
in the world, these nightmarish insects have a nasty reputation, and they were defined as murder hornets by the press. For anyone that is late to the party,
It's also a thing. When they said, oh my gosh, dude. Oof. Ew. 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 When the media, I looked it up, the media said that, I think it was like 4 inches long, these cicada, I don't know if it's the same kind, but the murder hornets, they actually labeled them as murder hornets or whatever, and said that they can grow up to be like 3 or 4 inches long, and they're usually native to what is it called? Kind of like in, I think, India or Africa or whatever, in that region. And I could be wrong, but it's native to over there in that kind of region. And apparently they got over by a ship or something. So when I heard the media say, "Oh, you know, murder hornets made it to the U.S. From a ship," that was in, I forgot where, but or apparently these, when the media labels the bees as murder hornets, I start freaking out, and when they say how big they are, I start freaking out because they're like, if they're 3-4 inches long, that's long, dude. That's crazy long. Like well, my middle finger is about almost 4 inches, and it just freaks me out, you know. When I go for I don't really go for a walk, but you know, whenever I do, you know, if a bee or if I hear anything buzz around me, I immediately start like, oh crap, and I freak out because I don't know if it's a bee or not, you know. I'm just afraid of bugs in general. It's crazy how afraid of bugs I am, but yeah. Here we go, resuming the video. Oops, my bad.
Yes, I have already been stung. And yes, it hurts. A lot.
Absolute searing pain.
As for the invasion,
Oh yeah,
no,
painful.
we aren't going to be overrun, stung, and killed by giant hornets. But some may argue that the
Don't know if the winter time, I think bees, I think they migrate, don't they? Because if they don't, they'll die in the winter. Because they need warmth. It's either, if they're in the winter, they huddle in their hive, they snuggle or whatever, and they create warmth. Either that, or they die, or they just migrate. Well, if I don't know if bees can migrate like birds, but if they can, I mean, that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's continue this.
invasion has already happened. That's where I come in. It's time to set the record straight, and more importantly, it's time to take a misidentified scapegoat off of the suspect list. Okay, let's get down to business. You showed up to see a
Look how
full-grown
huge
man
that thing is,
experience
dude.
some pain. But first, you gotta learn a little something about this incredible insect. As my mom always used to say, you can't have your dessert until you finish your vegetables.
Yeah.
Well, if that's not a terrifying little insect, I don't know what is. Ladies and
I don't
gentlemen,
either.
let me introduce you to the cicada killer, one of the largest wasp species in the United States. This
The
is
largest, one of
second
them.
to the
Wait a
tarantula
minute.
hawk.
One of the largest? Dude, what the fuck is the largest? Keep me away from it, okay? Just keep me away. I don't want any of that. None of that. I do not want to be stung by the world's largest wasp, bee, whatever. I remember mud daubers, man, those things, I think, don't mud daubers live in the, I don't know because I don't know if their name is mud dauber because they live in the mud. I don't know why their name is mud dauber. I have no idea, but I should look it up. It'd be pretty cool to learn.
Now, this wasp is not technically a spider wasp like the tarantula hawk. This is, in fact, a sand wasp. Now, similar to the tarantula hawk, they have a very unique biological cycle. This one that you're looking at right here is a female. It is the females that get larger than the males, and the females that are armed with a venomous stinger. And what the females will do is search around in the treetops for cicadas. They will hone in on their target, move in, and use...
So that's why they're called cicada killer, because they go after cicadas. I mean, honestly, cicadas. How long? Hold on, let me see something real quick. There are only 7 species. Ew, dude. I apologize. Hold on. I should really wait and eat after the video. There are only 7 species of cicadas that come out all at once every 13 or 17 years. That's crazy, dude. So let's say I was born in 1999, right? That was the last time they were out. They come out 17 years later. So then I would be 16. Well, I'm not 16, I'm like 21, but hypothetically, I think. Yeah. No. No, it'd be 18. Oh gosh. Crap, dude. Now I have to. Now I actually have to. I'm not good as math I used to be, alright? Hold on. 1999 plus 17. Yeah, 16. Yeah. Alright. Here we go.
That elongated abdomen to swoop up underneath their prey and then sting it. They paralyze the cicada, similar in the way that a tarantula hawk paralyzes a spider. Eventually, the male cicada killers fertilize the egg that she lays on top of the paralyzed cicada. The female will physically carry that cicada in its large mandibles and its grappling hook-like legs back to its underground burrow. These burrows can be up to 20 inches in length, and they have multiple tunnels. At the end of each one of these tunnels, the female will place the paralyzed cicada. Once that egg hatches, it turns into a pupa. It begins to feast upon that paralyzed insect until it grows large enough to build a cocoon, and then once it hatches out of that cocoon the next season, another cicada killer comes up from under the ground. If that's not a horror story, I don't know what is. Now, this is a very large wasp.
So they live in the ground? Oh. So if I'm walking, so if I'm walking, right? Is it possible that I can step on a cicada killer and get stung by one on my foot? I know there are some tarantulas and tarantulas are spiders, but I know there's tarantulas out in the desert that bury themselves so they can't be seen. Mind me never to go out to the desert. Ever. Dude, freak that. I don't want to go see a huge hairy tarantula. No, dude. I don't want to get bit by a venomous tarantula and die. Ugh. Ugh. Imagine having a spider, a tarantula on you, not even knowing it. Ugh. I just need to. Okay, let's just unpause this.
And the easiest way to identify it are those large amber-colored wings. When this creature is at rest, like it is right now, the wings have a very triangular shape to them, very different looking from a hornet or a spider wasp. You'll see there, when she folds her wings back, it looks a little more concave, similar to a giant hornet, which makes it really easy to misidentify this species as that foreign invader. And when you look at the front of the insect, it has enormous eyes. These wasps have
Wait a minute, are those pinchers on the bottom? So, if those are pinchers, they have pinchers and they can sting. And since it's a wasp, is it a wasp? Does it count as a wasp? Well, they say it's a cicada killer, a murder hornet, but I don't know if it's in the category of a wasp. If it is, then that means it can sting multiple times, it can bite, multiple times. The thing is huge, dude. The thing is, it scares the crap out of me. Here we go.
Incredible eyesight. They're primarily diurnal, and you'll see them very
huge.
active.
Crap, dude.
Overcast.
I know they can pretty much see like 360. They have like tiny eyes on. They can pretty much see everywhere around them. That's also what scares me. They can see all around. They can see you coming from behind. Like you can go and like catch one. They'll know that you're right there behind them, and they'll just either take off or just go after you. I wouldn't want to be stung by that, you know.
cloudy days. Again, they're using their senses to find the cicadas up in the tree, target in on their prey, and then...
And they have senses to
That
detect.
thorax is rather sizable, very robust, but it's the abdomen that is the most...
Yeah, that scares the crap out of me. Look at that. Look how big that thing is, dude. That thing is probably about the size of what? My ring finger. Thing is massive. Maybe even bigger than that. I haven't seen that thing in person. I don't want to see that thing in person. I do not want to be stung by it. I do not want to hold it. I do not want to even see it in person. Frick that, dude. Ugh. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. If they remove the stinger and the pinchers, like everything that it can use to hurt you, then I would probably hold it and just feel safe. I would feel okay. Because it couldn't hurt you. All it could do is just walk on your hand or whatever. So I think that's pretty much for everything that can sting you or bite you or whatever. If you remove that, then you wouldn't feel so like scared or threatened or whatever. You could just put out your hand and not even care in the world because they couldn't hurt you. So I wouldn't be so afraid of bugs if no bugs had anything to like sting you or bite you or any venom or anything. I would happily just go and just hold one not even care. But because of they do have stingers and because they do they do have pinchers, my mind is immediately racing like, oh, okay, you know, if they could like, if I see a spider on the ground, my mind is immediately like, if you get close to that spider, it might be a jumping spider. I'm not sure. Like I can't tell between a regular spider, like one that can't jump, and one that can. But here's the thing: is that if a jumping spider can if a jumping spider can jump, how come like just a regular spider, like let's say a wolf spider, can't jump? You know what I mean? I don't know the science behind that, but whenever I see like a bug, like a spider, or maybe like a little centipede, the house centipede or whatever in the wall, I'm immediately like, okay, this bug might be able to jump at me, this bug might be able to fly, this bug might have pinchers or could sting me. That's what my mind immediately goes to. It doesn't immediately go to, alright, catch this bug and release it outside or whatever. It immediately goes to, you know, this bug can hurt me if I get close to her or if I touch it, yeah. But if I get close to it, whatever. And even bugs that people say, you know, are harmless, like what is this? There's this huge spider they say is harmless. I forgot. It has like these arms or whatever. I forgot, but they say that it's harmless. But I still wouldn't even trust it, even if it was. You know, they say, you know, although harmless to humans, but the arms, they can still feel they can still feel prickly. They can still kind of not like go into your skin, but can still like kind of feel. It can still kind of hurt. See, stuff like that. Even bugs that they say are harmless, I don't even trust, unless you take away the things that could potentially, you know, even if it doesn't break the skin, you know, just hurts, you know. Yeah. Oh, crap. I lost my train of thought. I apologize. Crap. But, you know, stuff like that. I'm just really afraid of bugs. If I hear like something buzz by me, I'm like, oh crap, you know, what is that? Like I said before, and it just turns out to be a fly, but I'm still kind of afraid of it because I don't know if it's because I know cow flies and horse flies, they can what is it? They can bite you and stuff, and it would hurt. Like I got bit by a cow fly before, you know, because I lived I lived near people who had cows, and there were, granted, there rarely be any cow flies near my house, rarely, but there would be maybe like one. I think there's only no. I take that back. There were probably about one or two times where a cow fly got near the house, or one got in the house or whatever. But we got it out eventually. One of them ended up biting me. Of course, it healed, but then of course it didn't do that much damage. It's kind of like how a bee stings you, and you just pull it out, and it's not like a huge gash. Obviously, it's just a little. It hurts, but just a little kind of like a, what is it called? A thorn kind of thing. So, you also gotta be careful because there's mosquitoes out there that can carry stuff. They can fly. There's tons of things that can fly. Mosquitoes, flies, bees, wasps. There's a whole bunch of things that can fly out there, and unfortunately, there's stuff like mosquitoes that can carry diseases, and I didn't even know that mosquitoes had saliva. I had no idea that. I didn't think bugs carried saliva. I thought it was just like mammals and animals, and I didn't know bugs carried saliva. Mosquitoes carried saliva. That's how, if they bite you or put their thorn. I'm trying not to be disgusting or anything, but if they put thorn in, saliva gets in your bloodstream, and that thing it has like a disease, and it like malaria. It gets into your bloodstream, and it causes you to get malaria, and unfortunately, and I don't know if there's a cure for that or not, but if there's not, hopefully soon, and if there is, then hallelujah, but I think that's all I have to say right here. We're only like not even 5 minutes in the video, and I'm talking really, but let's continue this. Oops, my bad.
That black and yellow coloration tells you that this creature is venomous. Aposematic means leave me alone, I am not something you want to be stung by. Now when it comes to the demeanor of this wasp, to be honest, they're rather docile, and very seldomly will they ever interact with humans. In fact, the only time you stand a chance of being stung by this insect is if you were to step on top of its burrow and it were to come up from underneath you and try to escape. It would maybe sting your bare foot if
that's what I was talking about earlier. You would, since it would be underground, you step on it, it could come up and sting you in your foot. And he said that they're very hostile, or not hostile, they like to avoid interaction with any human or whatever. And I think that pretty much goes for pretty much any bee or wasp. I don't think they like interaction. I think they're just trying to do their own thing, and, I think, yes, there are bees, like the cicada killer, that are after other bugs, but I don't think they're after humans, or they're just trying to avoid them. They're not interested in us, which kind of is an insult, but not really. But I think that pretty much goes for every bee. But then when I look it up, and when I see like a wasp, and I look it up, the wasp, is it harmful or harmless? They say yes. Well, yes, it is. Slightly harmful. It's not that big of a deal, but it's because it's slightly harmful. They try to avoid interaction at all, and even with that information, I'm scared of them. You know what I mean? Because if I get close to them, then I don't want the bee to think that I'm attacking him or doing anything to him. It's kind of like personal space. You don't want to be in someone else's personal space that close to them. So I thought maybe that would go also with wasps. It says yes, they can sting you, whatever, but they try to avoid interaction with humans. But if you get closer to the hive, of course they're going to go after you. But if they're not, and you're just, if they're not at their hive, but they're kind of like a few feet ahead of you, like on, let's say, on a, what is it called? Just, I guess on ground or whatever, if you get close to them, yes, it says they avoid interaction, but that's not where my mind goes. My mind is immediately like, if I get close to this thing, yes, this is it. It'll try to avoid interaction, but my mind doesn't do that. It says if I get close to this thing, it's not going to avoid interaction. It's just going to end up stinging me for getting into its personal space. And you know what? That may be right, actually. It may be true. I'm not sure, though. But that's what I think. And yeah, the bee. It says the bee or wasp or whatever is not going to sting you unless you actually touch it or hold it or whatever. And when they fly, they try to avoid interaction again for the third time. That's not where my mind goes. My mind is immediately like, don't get close to this thing. I'm going around. I'm not gonna get close to it because I do not want it to sting me. Even though it tries to avoid interaction at all costs, whatever. And yeah, that's where my mind goes. But I don't. They say they try to avoid interaction. Dang. They try to avoid interaction, but my mind takes that is that true or is that not true? Is that true for this specific wasp? Is that true for this specific bee? That's where my mind goes. And yeah, let's continue this video.
You were blocking its escape way. Other than that, this is not a bug that is ever going to go out of its way to try to interact with humans. Now, during the summertime, you will oftentimes see clusters of the males battling it out up in the air. But other than that, these are considered solitary sand wasps.
I'm sorry to keep pausing it, but I also seen that before where a bumblebee or a wasp or whatever, mud dauber, they would actually, I would be able to see them up in the air, like actually, like fight, flying at each other and stuff. And, as they fight, they pretty much are everywhere. Like, they go here, then they're over here, and then they're over here. And it's just not one spot thing. It's pretty much, it could be anywhere. And that's where you're like, you back off, and you back up, and you're like, I'm not getting close to this because, they fight right here, then one flies away, and then they fight in a different, it's just kind of like birds. I've seen birds fight in the air before. And I'm like, I'm not getting close to that, So.
No matter how you break it down, guys, to be honest, this is one very intimidating insect, which makes it very clear as to why people are afraid of this wasp. Wow, seeing it buzz around inside that capsule brings a number of flashbacks. The warrior wasp, the tarantula hawk, the executioner wasp, and certainly the Japanese giant hornet. But there is a very good reason as to why I'm going to be stung by this wasp today. No, I am not technically coming back out of sting retirement. This is going to be a one and only, because right now, this insect has a very negative reputation. By people misidentifying it for the giant hornet, they're panicking and they're...
Yes, the media tries to trick you by saying murder hornet made it to U.S. and say how big it is and whatever, and that's the key that kind of triggers your mind, this thing is huge. It's called the murder unit. It's called the murder hornet. It must hurt. When you get a sting, it must be painful, and it's not. The media tries to make things look worse than they actually are, and yeah, that's just unfortunately. Just the unfortunately thing,
Aiming to kill this species, but it is not something that we need to be afraid of. So, by getting this up close for the cameras and by taking a sting, I can show you guys that sting is not really that potent. Remember, it only ranks as a 2 on the insect sting pain index. Now, that stinger is, of course, a modified ovipositor, which is used for depositing eggs. And while it is laced with venom, the venom of this species is not necessarily that potent. However, I do not know how my body is going to react to the sting. So we certainly have an epinephrine pen on set just in case my body.
Yep, everyone's different. Everyone handles things differently. So, there's some people that can handle hot stuff, and there's some people that can't handle hot stuff. And need to drink a gallon of milk. So, nobody on earth is the same. Everybody is different. Everybody can handle different things. There's people that are stronger than other people, and there's people that's... Well, everybody's smart, but... Yeah. Look. There are... Yes, everybody's smart, but at the same time, there are people that are a little bit smarter. You know what I mean? At specific things. There are people that are smarter at specific things just because they've worked on that specific thing for a long time. Kind of like Coyote, he's very familiar with... It's my nose. That's usually a sign of lying, even though I'm not lying. I don't get why I did that, but... You know, he's used to being stung because of all the series, the videos that he's done, of being stung by the tarantula hawk, and now the cicada killer, and a few other, the bullet ants, and, you know, he's kind of an expert, and knows a lot about insects, I feel like, about the insects that he's been stung by, because, you know, he did his research on them and stuff, and, yeah, kind of like that. Not many people know, well, I'm not sure, but there's people that don't know they don't know the information on that insect that he knows, because he's had experience because of the series that he's done, and him going out in the wild and finding bugs and animals, and they're cool too, and doing his research and information. And I feel like a survivalist, I don't know if he's survivalist or not, but, you know, a survivalist also has to know that information. I feel like Cat also has to know that information too, you know, because they're out in the wild, you know, they're trying to survive, they're building tents, whatever, they're going across the desert or the mountains, they have to know that stuff too, you know, so.
Body has an allergic reaction. So if you guys are ready, I think it is time to transfer the cicada killer from the capsule into the net. Let's get in the forceps and get me stung. This is the most delicate part, so I've got to really stay focused and make sure to get a clean, secure hold.
He lost it? No, he caught it.
Just like that, we almost lost it. Man, that is a very, very, very powerful wasp. Oh, buddy. Okay, let me try this again. I mean, you have to think about it. This thing is capable of carrying a cicada that can weigh more than it does. It is a very, very powerful wasp.
Yeah.
I also have...
And so is the... And so is that... What is it? That rhinoceros beetle? I forgot what it was called. That can carry... Hold on, let me, Oh my gosh. My phone's acting goofy, man. Hold on. What? I don't... No, stop! What? Wait, is it working now? There it is. There it is, the rhino beetle. View in 3D. Strength. Rhino beetles can lift something 800 times their own weight. To put this in perspective, if a human had the strength of a rhinoceros beetle, it would be able to lift 65-ton object. That's crazy. 850 times your own weight. That's crazy, dude. Probably not a human, though, but... crazy. That's in perspective. They can't actually lift 65 tons, but that's in the perspective. You know, but that's pretty crazy. They can lift that much more than their own weight. I weigh 210 pounds, and if I was able to lift 850 times my own weight, that would equal to 210 times 850. That would be 178,000 pounds. 178,500 pounds. That's crazy, actually. I looked it up earlier, but I forgot about it. Dang. Let's continue watching this video.
Have to be very delicate and very gentle. I don't want to damage the insect's wings in any way whatsoever. She's got all these little hairs on her, which makes her very slippery. That's where I'm struggling.
Pretty hard to grab. Grab her in the net. Right there.
You gotta go with it now. You guys in position? Okay, hands shaking. I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to be stung by the cicada killer. Oh my goodness, that stinger is long. Here we go. 1, 2.
Here we go.
3. Ah! Oh, it got away.
Oh crap! It got away.
Ooh.
It was kind of hesitant. It was kind of hesitant. It stayed on there for quite a little bit, huh? It just like had enough, and it stung him. I guess the bee was kind of panicking. I mean, pretty much everything. That's what I feel like. I feel like, you know, the bee, no matter what it did, it couldn't get out, and so it was kind of panicking, and it kind of let out a stinger to sting him.
I lost it. Ah, it's the first time I've ever lost one. I must be rusty. Oh. It got me more than once, too. Woo! Ah. Were you able to see that? Were you able to see the sting? I think so. Come in tight right there. Woo! Long stinger. Oh, yeah, it's throbbing.
Dang.
Wow. Okay. Really not that bad. Really not that bad at all.
What if it's equivalent to a bumblebee
You got me
sting?
there and there. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Second rush of pain, Nowhere near a velvet ant or tarantula hawk. Nothing close to bullet ant or some of those larger wasps. Wow.
Dang.
for such
He's
a
been
big
stung
stinger,
a lot, dude.
Very intimidating. Really not that painful. It got good stings, so yeah, skin is definitely tightening up. Common paper wasp, at the most. Not even on par with the honeybee. Not even on par with the honeybee, I can't believe it. My
Dang.
first miss on the capsule. Well, it's certainly back.
He said, what did he say? Did he say not as bad as a honeybee? So if that's the case, then it must not even be that bad at all. That's crazy. Wow. That's kind of crazy that he found something that's not even as bad as a honeybee. Has he? I wonder if he's ever been stung by a bumblebee, well, on camera. I have no idea. Well, that's crazy, dude. You know, with the name of Cicada Killer, you would think it'd be a lot more painful, but no, not. all bees are different, of course. Some bees that are more painful than the others. Everything is different. But
into the wild at this point, without question, the strongest insect I have ever worked with in one of these sting scenarios. Now here's my theory. For a spider wasp like the tarantula hawk to go up against something like a tarantula, that's an aggressive predator unto its own with big fangs. So your sting and your venom has to be insanely potent. I don't feel any sense of paralysis in my arm. When it comes to a wasp like the cicada killer, when you're going against a cicada with no stinging or biting parts, I can see why your sting doesn't need to be so potent. Now, a couple minutes have gone by, and if you come over here and you zoom in on my arm, Mario, you can see something funky's happening on my forearm.
dang.
Look at that welt. I thought I only got stung twice, but I'm seeing swelling here and radiating out now into my forearm. Now I do feel burning after the fact, but nothing more than a common wasp sting. There is an initial jolt, sort of like an electrical shock, and I was anticipating the paralysis of the tarantula.
But nothing as bad as a wasp sting? That's kind of crazy, dude. I never really, or maybe I think I have been stung by a wasp on my ankle. It was painful. Of course, you know, your ankle is pretty much bone. That's what it is. And I've been stung there, and it was very painful. Very painful, and the fact that this bee isn't as bad as a wasp, kind of crazy actually. But
that pain went, and then it just kind of died off. Wow. Now what that leads me to conclude is that while this may be a very intimidating wasp that is going to be confused for the giant hornet, it is definitely not something we need to be afraid of. I would say that the sting is no more than a 2 on the insect sting pain index. And even 10-year-old coyote could have likely taken a sting from this creature and gone right on in the swamps catching turtles. Now when it comes to seeing one of these wasps this summer, if you come across it in your backyard, remember, this is not a creature that is out to get you. They want nothing to do with humans. And unless you're a cicada, you have absolutely nothing.
that's the case, though. They don't want anything to do with you, but I know that they don't want anything to do with you. But whenever you hear them fly like around you, of course, not attack you or anything. But when you hear them fly around you, you can't help but think that it is attacking you. And you trying to take cover, trying to swat at it, but that'll just make it mad. So it's really kind of like you have to have a lot of, it's flying around you. It doesn't want anything to do with it, but it's flying around you to get to places. It's not trying to get to you, but the fact is you think that it is. And you are taking cover and swatting at it. That'll just make it mad and actually come after you. You gotta have a lot of, I guess, guts, kind of, to just, like, stand there or walk, well, the bee is just flying all around you. But that's the thing, you don't know if it's attacking you or not. But actually, well, the fact that it's flying, around, not around, but by you, it's like, zzz, 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 you know what I mean? You can't help but think it's attacking you, but it's not. It's just going back and forth to its nest and to get more supplies or something like that. But you gotta have pretty much a lot of guts to, I flinched right there because I heard a zzz, like I heard fly go by. But you pretty much have to have a lot of guts to stand there and just like watch it and hear it fly by you, knowing that it's not attacking you, but it's just crazy to me. Oh man, just scares me.
Toss it in your backyard. Remember, This is not a creature that is out to get you. They want nothing to do with humans. And unless you're a cicada, you have absolutely nothing to fear. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. Whew! That was a good one.
Dang, that's beautiful. The great
The
pastures.
science of stings will always have a special place in my heart. And the painfully entertaining experiences we have caught on camera have brought to the spotlight a collection of creepy creatures that have never been so celebrated. Giant hornets are not going to invade America, and hopefully this up-close look at the cicada killer, despite its menacing design and impressive size, has helped alleviate some of your concerns. In an absolute worst-case scenario,
Coyote man, you know, catching these bugs and being stung by them, you have to have a lot of guts. A lot of guts. A lot. It's crazy.
if you are stung, it's not nearly as bad as their appearance would lead you to believe. Remember, they kill cicadas, not humans. And if there's one thing I hope you walk away with, it's that these wasps are noticeably docile unless trifled with. Leave them alone and let them live. So that's it. One last sting. I'm headed back into retirement, where I plan to enjoy a long, relaxing career of making more animal adventure content. Although,
wow, good for you,
there
dude.
might be some pretty extreme stuff coming up. I didn't say anything about retiring from bites.
Dang.
Coyote Pack, if you love our bite and sting content and want to learn more, make sure to check out our best-selling book, The King of Sting, and be one of the first to pick up my newest memoir, The Beast of Bites. To catch your copies, click on the link in the video description below. And don't forget, join memberships so you can brave alongside me and the crew on our next wild adventure.
Wow. Is that it for the video? Dang. That's crazy. There are, what was I gonna say? There are bees and there are wasps and there are mosquitoes that are worse than others. Do you know what I mean? There are wasps and mosquitoes that are wasps and bees that are vicious, but there's wasps and bees that don't really care what you do. I mean, you could be laying on the ground looking up at the clouds and a bee could just fly right by you, not even care. Don't care, you know? And then there are wasps that are flying pretty much in the same spot the entire time. I think, well, mud daubers, I think they pretty much fly around their home or house or whatever. I mean, that's what I saw, at least at my old house, is that mud daubers would just stay and just fly in the same spot for a long time. Or maybe, or sometimes they'd actually fly out and gather stuff and bring back, or come back. But whenever, you know, they would fly around the barn, and whenever we would go to the barn and get, like, the mower out to mow or whatever, they wouldn't really even care. They would, you know, if they were, like, right in front of the barn, we would walk toward them, and they would really just fly up and not really care. They would fly up and just stay high up, and when we get the mower out, we mow, blah, 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 like, they wouldn't even do anything. They were pretty much just like, all right, we'll move out of the way. You know, we're not about that stuff. We're not about attacking you guys. We're not about any of that. You know, unless you know, mess with us or whatever, or you know, hold us, touch us, whatever. We're not about that stuff. And unfortunately, there are wasps and there are bees that are not like that and do come after you and sting you. They're very hostile, and if you get near their hive at all, they'll come after you and they'll sting you and even kill you because they're surrounding you and stinging you and you know, they have venom. You know what I mean? And mosquitoes, you also gotta be aware of mosquitoes too, because there are mosquitoes that carry diseases like malaria and a few other, and you know, I had no idea, but bugs, there, I don't know if it's all bugs or some bugs, but there are bugs that contain saliva. Mosquitoes contain saliva, and they're, you know, their saliva could contain diseases like malaria, and that's what if they go up to you and try to, they put the, not to discuss, again, not trying to be disgusting, but put the needle in the saliva, gets in your bloodstream and causes you to get malaria, and it's just not good, and that's why you gotta be careful with all that stuff, you know. I don't really see the point of mosquitoes anyway. Really. What's even the point of mosquitoes? There really is no point. At least not to me. Maybe there is a point to them. I don't know what point there is, but yes, there are bees that are not very hostile at all. But there are bees that, I mean, I saw this video of this guy capture this bee and like train it to actually do stuff. Like, you know, fly and then come back to him, and it's crazy. Kind of like how you toss a ball, the dog who gets it brings it back to you, kind of like that, but with a bee. And I saw a video on it, and I was like, dang, like that's crazy. And bees are a lot smarter than we think. They're a lot smarter than we think. They're very smart, and I don't know. I don't think they're smarter than us. Dolphins are very smart too. That's what I heard. I'm not sure about penguins, but I heard about bees and dolphins. Well, honeybees, most noticeably, particularly, being very smart, and dolphins are very smart too, and you know, I think there's a lot of insects and animals and mammals that are a lot smarter than we think, and yeah. I think there's, I don't know, maybe even insects that, I'm not sure about mammals or animals, probably not, but there's probably insects out there that we haven't even discovered. You know? What about like sea, you know, what about sea creatures? Like, we can't go all the way down the sea, you know, because there's pressure. But what lays down there? What is down there? You know, is what does it look like? I mean, I know it's just pure black because there's no light. You know, the light only goes so far down in the sea, and it's just pure black. But you know, yes, it's actually scary to be like, you know, you go all the way down and it's just pure black, but you don't know what's around you. You don't know if it's like some dangerous squid, whale, shark, whatever, you know, fish, and that could take you out. You know, what lays down there? What else is down there, you know? And I'm sure there's stuff that, considering that we haven't explored 98%, we only explored 2% of the ocean, and we haven't explored 98%, there's probably a whole bunch of other things in the ocean that we have not discovered yet. You know? Although, you know, probably we have, because you know, we know squid. We know squids are an octopus, and we know those are in the ocean. We know those are a thing. We know those are alive in the ocean, and you know, we know those are in the ocean, and we know that they're most likely they're probably, you know, all over the place in the ocean and stuff. We know that, so it probably wouldn't be very, you know, it probably wouldn't be so too surprising to see that there's a lot of squids all the way down the ocean, like far down. I think colossal squid. I think that's really far down, and I think turtles can go far down too, a lot far down, and maybe some other things too, and You know, are there actually things that we haven't discovered yet in the ocean? Saying that we haven't explored any 8% of it, you know what I mean? And it's just fun and interesting to think of that, and you know, create theories and conspiracies on that. You know, it just seems like, you know, people are finding stuff new every day. You know, people are learning stuff new every day, despite how old you are. You know, 20, 30, 40, learning something new. You know, and you know, technology is getting more advanced, science is getting more advanced, and a lot of things are getting more advanced, and can't wait for what the future holds for that stuff. It's gonna be mind blowing, but it's gonna be crazy. You know, 2060, considering that we got all this technology in 2020, and you know, 2060 is in 40 more years. Can you even imagine what the technology we'll have and the science we'll have in 40 years? It's gonna be crazy, you know. Can't imagine what VR is gonna be like. That's gonna be pretty crazy. Can you imagine, you know, 2020, we're imagining like VR, like we're gonna be able to actually be in the game, you know. I don't know. I don't know where VR is gonna go, but it's gonna get more advanced and more advanced. It's gonna get mind blowing, and it's gonna get to the point where you couldn't really even tell between VR and reality. Probably, video games are gonna get even more advanced, and it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy in 2060. I'll be 60 years old. Can't wait. But I think we'll run out of like what? I think we'll run out of oil. Yeah, I think we'll run out of oil in the 2060s. So, you know, I'll be alive then, hopefully. But because I don't know what the future holds. You know what I mean? I don't know the future. I don't have an IQ of 500,000. But yeah. I think that maybe all I have to say. Thanks for watching. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I think that's all I'd say. Thanks for watching. If you like my content, hit the like button, hit subscribe to see more of it, and leave in the comments down below what else you want me to react to. Just as long as it's not inappropriate, and if it is, not too inappropriate. But yeah, I think that's what I'd say, and I'll do my outro right now. And oh yeah, thanks for watching. So I'll do my outro right now, and yeah. Addison 2000 or Addy. Addison 2000 or Addy. Out.